Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And today, this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews, and we are reviewing the show on Amazon Prime called Gen V, and we are sipping on fruit punch and vodka. How y'all doing? Now, I realize that Abbott Elementary wasn't coming on last week or next week because they're taking like a 2-week hiatus or whatever. So I was like, I saw somebody request this show and I had watched the first 3 episodes of it when it first came out, and then I didn't come back to it. So I was like, let me just watch the rest of this show and I'll do this as a review. Now, did I know that the main nigga on this show we're just gonna up and die yesterday? Today's Sunday. God rest his fucking soul. What's his name? I need the names because I'm gonna go character by character with this, so it won't be like too convoluted. What's his name? Chance Perdomo passed away. He plays Andre Anderson in this show, and he passed away in a fucking motorcycle accident yesterday. And I think it was yesterday or Friday, and I am just like, why have I finished this show, enjoyed this show, and then as I'm in the process of preparing to do a review of this show, the main person dies. One of the main people die. And I watched him on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He was a good actor. God rest his soul. So I just want to take a moment to just acknowledge that, because that's just fucking sad. And he was only 27. People keep saying he joined the 27 club or whatever, but like all them famous people that died when they were 27 or whatever. And I'm just like, what was the reason? Why did that have to happen? He was young and vibrant and doing things and living life and just creating magical characters, and with his swag and his self-assuredness and his handsomeness, and his characters with LGBTQ and all, but yeah, I just wanted to, I'm still going to do the review. As you can see, I'm just bothered. And I'm sure some of you who enjoy the show, enjoy him as an actor, enjoy his characters that he's played, may be bothered as well. So I just wanted to kind of get that out the way before we go into the show and what's going on with these characters. He's not going to be on it next season unless he's already filmed some parts. I don't know if they're going to replace him, if they're going to just let his character on the show die. It's gross. I hate it. But we're going to get into this. We're going to do this review. We're going to do it. It's going to be done. And, let's get into it. So I'm going to go character by character because I feel like that's a little bit easier for me. Let me see who's who, what's what. So, let's see. I'm not going to start off with Jazz. She's the main character, or Marie Moreau. I'm not going to start off with her. She's the main character. I'm going to see if I can start off with the ones that, works from the smallest to the greatest. So first we're going to start off with the dude that plays Golden Boy. So basically the premise of this story is that these are based off of The Boys show, and I watched all of that. That's a good show. And I only do black shows, so the main character being biracial, that's close enough. So, and someone requested it, so I was like, okay. So no, I'm not gonna do The Boys. That's not a black show. Y'all see The Boys. Y'all know what's going on. And this is like a school. It's based around this school for the superhumans, the college that they go to. And the story of these 5 kids at the college and how they got together, and then they find out all the secrets about the college and how it's just a behavioral study place to study the superheroes, and underground is this place where they experiment on the superheroes, and then the leader of the college wants to create a virus to kill kill all the superheroes because the main superhero from the boys is like narcissist and crazy, killed her family on that plane when it crashed and stuff like that. So that's like the overview of just like the main thing that's going on. Let's get into these kids, and they was torturing these babies at this school. And basically like making them feel less than, all sorts of shit. And then it's not even at the school, it's at the parents that raise these kids, because basically how the people in this world become superheroes is that the parents signed up to get their kids pumped full of this thing called B, or whatever it's called, this liquid stuff, this blue shit that basically gives them superpowers at a certain age. They don't know what age it's going to be. It just happens randomly. And sometimes it's something magical and wonderful. And sometimes, like, one of the characters made her whole family, her little brother walk off and disappear into the ether. What's her name? Kate. She made her brother walk off into the ether and never return. And then Marie killed her parents on accident, you know, and then they are ostracized and made to feel like they're monsters and tortured and all sorts of shit. So these kids have like all this trauma and all this torture going on in their lives, and then they're expected to go to college and act like regular ass college students and be regular and shit. But they can't be, because this is a world full of like racism still, and like social norms that are confining and hurtful, and also the system of fucked up systems that really aren't what they portray themselves to be, and all this other stuff. So we're going to start with Golden Boy. He is one of the main, like, the top dog at the school. I'm just going to mention him briefly just because he's only in the first episode as a main character. He pops up here and there in flashbacks and shit like that, and I'll probably mention him and attach to the other characters, but he's the easiest to do first. So basically, he's at the school, right? And he is like the main person that's going to be in the 7 after, what's her name? Starfire, whatever her fuck her name was, left the 7, right? And so, and y'all got to watch The Boys, like, to know what I'm talking, because I'm not going to explain what the 7 is, okay? Y'all need to know before you watch this. You need to have watched the other show and watch this, because I'm not going to go into every single little detail about what everything is, okay? So please. But like, he was the top person to be in the 7, and he was like the most popular kid in school, right? And so basically he ends up befriending Marie, and she starts to join his group and stuff like that. And at some point, you know, he's the favorite of this dean at the school. I think his name is Brink or something. And Brink writes this book about like all his experiences with superheroes and how he knows everything there is to know about superheroes. And Brink was going to put him on the 7, right? But he kept having these like weird ass dreams and flashbacks and all this other stuff. So come to find out, his brother Sam was one of the kids that they took away and locked under the school and stuff because he was a wild card and he had schizophrenia and all this other shit, and he was over here killing people, but also to experiment on him and also to trade his blood into his brother's blood and, you know, like create a super duper whatever the fuck they trying to do. It's like, y'all niggas don't even have powers, but you trying to like experiment with the niggas that do have powers, like they're lab rats. Like, I just feel like if all these niggas that had power wanted to rise up and destroy y'all motherfuckers, they could. We can make some earphones to numb out that noise and shit like that. I mean, they might use that virus against them at some point just to keep them in control, but at some point I just feel like there's going to be a power that outshines even the virus, because this shit is evolution and these people are having babies and shit like that. So So, come to find out, you know, he's got all this fucked up trauma and flashbacks and all this other stuff. But the girl he with, Kate, she been lying this whole fucking time. She been a sneak thief this whole fucking time. Been taking his memory of his brother away. So he finally remembers his brother and he barges into Brink's office, kills Brink, and then like Maria's in there because she's trying to understand why Brink tried to kick her out of school and all this other shit. And then she sees him, runs out. Jordan is in there. Jordan is another person. He's an assistant of Brink that can switch his genders and has a bunch of different powers and super strength and can shoot something out of his hands or some shit. I'm still kind of confused on all their powers. I know. And so like he's running out and then like he just goes into the sky and explodes himself in front of his friends and everybody else there. So that kind of starts off the mystery of what's going on in the school is why did Golden Boy kill himself? They try to play it off like he was a drug addict and all this other stuff. And, you know, Kate, let's get into Kate because she's there this whole time. She is Golden Boy's girlfriend, right? Blonde hair, blue eyed white chick. She the whole time she been this sneak thief. And it's interesting how they do their backstories because we can see that she's been completely traumatized and abused and isolated. Like when she was a kid, her powers came in and she was just being snarky to her brother and she just told him to go walk off into the woods and never come back, right? And he walked off into the woods and never came back, scared the fucking shit out of her mom. Her parents had her locked up in this room with this metal door. And then the other dean of the school, Sheedy, whatever the fuck her name is, came and got her from her house and brought her to the school and now is using her to basically poison Golden Boy's mind and shit around his brother so that they can make him into another member of the Seven and keep the brother under wraps and the whole little thing under the school under wraps. And for whatever reason, Kate just feels like she's helping to save people because she fell for the okie doke and believes this shit. You know, she's severely traumatized. So it's interesting because like we can clearly see that some people that are severely traumatized will be sad and depressed and like hate themselves, but like still be trying to try and live life and function, like Marie or Andre or, you know, who else? Jordan. And then some of us that get severely traumatized turn into sociopaths. So over the course of this, Kate is slowly deteriorating into a sociopath, and the rest of the group finds out about Kate and what she's doing and how she lied to everybody and how she's been taking everybody's memory and all this other stuff. And they're mad at her and all this other stuff. So she tries to be on their side and all this other stuff. Like, no, I'm on your side, really, da 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 da. But she's actually slowly turning into a sociopath. Like, she goes from one extreme of being overly passive to the point of toxicity and being a henchman. So I have this like extreme thing that I do. So you got the ones that are toxically passive and the ones that are toxically aggressive. And so like she goes from here all the way over here to sociopath. She kills Sheedy at one point, and because Sheedy basically tells her that the school, the person that opened the school is actually a behavioral scientist, and the school was meant to monitor the superheroes, right? And it's just like, this whole school has been like a lie this whole time. The kids aren't really, they're seen as animals, as other. You know, it's like the X-Men, but like, you know, we ain't going into the apocalyptical type stuff yet that the X-Men go into. And so anyway, she kills Sheedy. And then she says, I'm going to go and kill all the humans and release all the people from the woods. The woods is the little jail underneath the school where they're keeping these kids and torturing them and experimenting on shit. And so she goes and with Sam, because Sam at some point, that's Golden Boy's brother. They got him out of the jail. And Sam was doing like, I don't even want to say he was doing decent. Sam is hearing voices. When his power came in, he got symptoms of schizophrenia, basically. He can hear things that are not there. And who knows? It may be a part of his power. He could be seeing ghosts. He could be seeing ghosts. I won't, because he was seeing his brother who was dead. And so, like, he could be seeing, maybe. And so they go to the school and get everybody out. And then they start killing and massacring bitches at the school and stuff. And so, like, it just turns to this whole thing. And, like, it's funny because at the end, like, they're the ones that are seen as the heroes. They, like, switched it up and made the 4 kids that were trying to calm them down into the bad guys. It's just like a fucked up system. It's like they need to make the narrative for the rich people in charge. So it's like a 1%er type situation. So anyways, Kate been a sneak thief this whole time. She been lying this whole time. And then Andre been fucking Kate. Kate was Golden Boy's girlfriend, right? Andre been fucking Kate since Golden Boy been alive. He just all just, and it just makes me realize, you know how black dudes just, I said it in a video before, how they just be the white bitch's accessory. Just like a little purse. Like he was in love with her and all this other stuff. Found out that she was a liar, said he hated her, but of course she was able to just blonde hair, blue eye her way back, get him back into the fold. And I'm just looking at this nigga like I looked at the nigga on Spider-Man Multiverse and I said, how are you not seeing that these white women are gonna white women? Like I expected it. I was just like, she was white womaning in the beginning. She was white womaning when school first started, and she was like the little blonde hair, blue eyed cheerleader bitch. And I was just like, weird shit. And so I was just like, because she's white, I'm gonna keep a side eye on her. Period. Like, period. Like. I mean, she was doing the whole mean girl act in the beginning. Like, I would have just kept an eye on her, period. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, but this nigga Andre just, oh, I'm in love with her. And it's so sad that they locked her in that room. And she went through all that traumas. And I'm just looking at this nigga like, why are you surprised that she turned out to be the fucking mole? Like, they've been looking for who's the mole this whole time. Who's telling Sheedy shit and who's telling the main people. I'm just like, I wonder who. And so of course she betrayed them. And of course she betrayed them again when she was killing everybody with Sam. Like, I just feel like, why do these niggas keep acting surprised when white women? Are they not aware of racism? Are they not aware of white supremacy? Are they not aware of these racist white bitches that just be doing shit just cause? Like, I'm confused why you're surprised by this, that a lot of white women act this way and will betray you and treat you like shit. I was not shocked at all. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, she's doing what white women do. Just like in Spider-Man Multiverse. I was just like, oh yeah, that bitch doing what white women do, following the leader. Because we live in a white supremacist hierarchical society with the white man at the top and the white woman right underneath him fighting for all they can get from the white man, and when they don't get it, they feel less than. And it's constantly these white women feeling less than over and over again by these white men. So what do? Instead of divesting themselves from these white motherfucking men and saying, I'm going to form my own-ness and be my own oneness, and it doesn't have to involve harming other people, they double down and they are more racist and fucked up to the people that they feel are beneath them. And so, but on the reverse side of that, if they get even a modicum of attention by the system, by white supremacy, because yes, Sheedy was the face of it, but the system was white supremacy. Sheedy was acting like a white woman because she was in a white supremacist system. And so she got a little bit of attention from this white supremacist system. And of course she fell for it. Like, just like the bitch in Spider-Man Multiverse. Like, why are y'all acting so... This is why I do not trust white people. Like, if you give them a little bit of that white supremacist attention, they will cut you. And y'all niggas be acting surprised when it... Like, why was Miles Morales surprised that this white woman turned on him? Like... Why were you surprised? Why was Andre surprised? I'm just sitting here like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she's a fucking fake. I'm glad it was her and not like anyone else of color or anything. Like, you know, because I expected white people to white. Like, niggas don't be expecting white women to white, and I just you know, like, that's how that nigga that was dating that influencer on OnlyFans and shit got stabbed to death. You know, like, you just sitting up here letting this white bitch hit you in the face, do all this other shit, but you don't think that eventually that's gonna turn into death. Okay, honey, like, I'm just saying. I am just saying, you know. And then we got Marie. So we start off with Marie, and she is the star of the show, right? So she started off with getting her powers when she got her period, and the blood was just floating in front of her face, and then like she freaked out and screamed and whatever, and her mom barged in, and then she freaked out again because her mom barged in, and then the blood turned into knives and stabbed her mom in the neck. And then her dad barged in. And her dad freaked out when he saw mom bleeding on the floor. And then Marie started screaming again. And then the blood stabbed her dad in the face. And so, that's how she got her powers. And her sister, of course, blames her for everything. How could you? You're a horrible person. And they were kids. So like as a child seeing that, like that's all you can kind of comprehend is that your sister killed your parents and she's a horrible person. I don't know. I feel bad for the situation because they were kids and she didn't know what was happening to her, and should be happening when you pump kids full of chemicals that you don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm just, what? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm sure as she was growing up, you probably were hearing other parents who pumped their kids full of random ass chemicals and how they had to deal with it and how maybe some of them might have died. I'd have been more cautious and aware that this child could get powers and not know what to do with them and then try to kill us, like, or kill us on accident. And, I wouldn't have been like abusive to my child. I would just been like, if anything weird or different happens, just let's isolate it. Okay, so if it happens when you're by yourself, try to stay in the space that you're in and then come and call us, and we'll have like a code word like bacon or some shit, and like we'll come because we know the code word, and we'll try to help you through that. Okay, we're gonna do it slowly and nicely, and we'll work through it. I know you can never tell, you can never know when some shit like that's gonna happen. You could sneeze and the bitch gonna explode. So that's the best I could do with that, because I'm not about to isolate my child and traumatize my child and do. If I made a choice to pump my child full of chemicals, obviously I'm making a choice to potentially be murdered by that child one day on accident. I mean, like, obviously, like, why make it even worse? Why traumatize my child? So anyway, she's sent to like this orphanage for kids with powers who like killed their parents or were out of control or whatever. And like by the time she gets 18, like her goal has been to go to God you. And so she gets in, and like she's super excited. She just wants to be like embraced and loved and cared for. And she thinks that if she goes into the criminal crime fighting school and becomes a superhero, like she's gonna be like, her sister's gonna love her. That's been her goal this whole time, is to get her sister to love her. And it's like, girl, you can't build your life around somebody outside of you, because they're going to do what they want to do. And even if you did become a superhero, there is no guarantee that your sister will look up to you or love you or care for you in any way. You're not going to make that shit up. Like, the best you can do is, if she chooses to be in your presence, is apologize, explain, and hope she understands. And if she doesn't, you still have to respect her space. It is what it is. But she's a child, so she, she's still running off that adrenaline of trauma and all this other stuff. So her goal is to get into God you. Her roommate is Lizzie. No, that's the name of the actress, Emma Meyer. Her roommate is Emma Meyer, and Emma on some fuck shit. Like her parents done fucked her ass up. So Emma is excited to be friends with Marie. Marie is excited to be friends with Emma. Emma's a little bit clingy and stuff, but Marie also like is a little bit clingy. She wants friends too. So they bond pretty quickly. It's cool or whatever. And then Marie ends up going on a night on the town with the popular kids, with what's his name, Golden Boy. I'm just gonna keep calling him Golden Boy because he's not on the top 10 cast, and I'm not about to like scroll through this shit to find his name. I guess because he died in the first episode. I don't fucking know. So anyways, she goes out with Golden Boy, Jordan, and Andre and Kate to eat, or to dance and get high at a bar or whatever. And Andre over there trying to mack up some chick, and so he making like little birds and shit that come out the air out of metal or whatever. And he gets surprised, and then the bird flies across the room and cuts some bitch in the neck. So what Marie does is she goes over there, and she don't realize that she can do this, but she uses her magical blood powers, like, in Avatar. We're getting Avatar tease here. It's amazing. And she puts the blood back in the bitch, and the bitch is alive, and it's a beautiful thing. and she goes viral. People are filming her with their cell phones. So she thinks like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be a part of the crime fighting school. Da, 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 da. And so the next day she gets called to the dean's office, Dean Brink or whatever his name is, Brisk, whatever. And this nigga's like, nah, bitch, like, these are our top 5. We can't have them being known as niggas that sneak out of school and drinking and almost killed a bitch. So you gotta get expelled. And so she's all fucked up about it because this was her only chance to become the superhero she wanted to be so she could be da 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 in front of her sister. And it's like, you can't build yourself up on some people like that. Like, that's unhealthy. I don't care who it is, sister, child, mother. No, because those are their own individual selves. Those are own individual people, and they have their own individual thoughts and feelings. And there's no guarantee that their individual thoughts and feelings are going to go along with your individual thoughts and feelings, no matter what you do. So all you can really do is just live your life. So anyways, she is mad. And so she walks out the office, and Jordan is there. So Jordan is like a bigender. So Jordan, they can like change their gender from male to female, and like I guess it changes their genome, so like they can't get killed easily. And then they're also super strong. And so like Jordan is, we'll get to Jordan in a second. Let's stick to Marie. Because I'm gonna be all, see, this is why I had to go person for person, because I'm all over the place, and then it gets even more confusing than it already is. All this stuff. But anyway, so she walks out the office. She's all mad and shit like that. Oh, excuse me. Tears up some trash can with her blood magic, and then she walks back into the office, and that's when we see like Golden Boy setting Brink on fire and all this other stuff. So we spend the rest of the episode, the show, like at first she's all excited because they think that she was the one that helped Golden Boy get Golden Boy away from the Brink, and like she did something, I don't know, because the nigga still died. So she was there. That's what I'm saying. She was there. Y'all gotta watch her because she be jumping on me and stuff. I guess because I'm expressive and she thinks that it's a threat. I don't fucking know. I'm still confused by that. I think it's because she was there. Like, or they made it seem like her and Andre stopped Golden Boy when actually Golden Boy blew himself up. They spun the story or some shit. So anyway, she gets popular. She gets into the top 5 and all this other shit. And then she gets on TV and all this other shit. And then Jordan. Okay, so now we enter Jordan. Jordan Lee is like, you know, they were there and they actually were the ones that helped to like, you know, calm Golden Boy down or slow him down a little bit. And, you know, Jordan is like a coward. So in the beginning of the show, Jordan is like a whole coward. Like, they grew up in a household. Jordan was born assigned male at birth, right? But when their power came in, they could switch back and forth. And so they're at the full them, they. Like, they, you know, call themselves bi-gender because they can switch between 2 cisgender bodies. Like, wouldn't that be great if, like, trans people could just, like, do that? Just switch between. I read this story once where, like, people, like, found a cure for cancer, but in order to get cured you have to have your whole genome switched up and you have to turn into another gender and shit. And I was just like, would I do that? Then I'll have to live the rest of my life with a penis. I don't want a penis. Penises can only have like 1 orgasm. Shut up. But I mean, it would be cool for the trans folks to be able to do that. Like, maybe they can have that as an option one day. You know, I don't trust human beings to create good things that change our genomes and cellular makeup, though. I don't trust humans to do things like that. So Jordan's dad's been wanting them to be like a boy, like all the time, but Jordan's like both. Jordan wants to be both. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that shit. The fuck? It's like, if you have kids and you can't accept the fact that your kid gonna be whoever and whatever they gonna be, then don't have fucking kids, nigga. Like, unless you turn out to be a pedophile, a rapist, a serial killer, like, I'm not gonna give up on you. And I'd only, and in that scenario, I'd only give up on you if you were a pedophile. There you go. The other two, I mean, we can like, I'll visit you in prison. But if I find out you touching them babies, No, that's a sickness. That's some shit. No, nigga, like I had a virus come out of my damn womb and shit, nigga. Like rape is bad enough, and serial killing is bad enough. But like you touching babies and shit is like for me, like not for you, but for me. That's some. I'll cut you off and act like I never had a fucking kid. I'll be like, I don't have a child. I don't know what. That doesn't mean I don't forgive you. That just means that you disgust me to the point where I can't be in your presence. Like I don't know, because like you traumatizing people from childhood on for the rest of their lives. You may even be creating new predators and shit. Like that's, I can't, like, but like, you gotta be ready for anything, especially if you purposely shot them up with some random fucking chemicals that you didn't even know it was gonna do. So that's a second moment in their life where you didn't know what was gonna happen. So you have to accept anything that happens, you know? First, you decided to have the child. You didn't know how they were going to turn out, but you have to accept who they are because that's your child. And then there's a second moment where you don't know what the fuck this chemical is going to do. So we have to just accept this child and how they're going to turn out. Like, you know, but no, their dad is just like, no, they're like, you're a boy. And they're just like, no, dad, I'm me. And it's just like, oh, that's so sad. So Jordan has been spending most of their life trying to climb the ladder and build up on a pedestal. So Jordan is just like Marie. That's why they got together. And Jordan feeling this type of way after they got together, talking about, oh, but what if she doesn't like her? And then did you notice that we never really saw that much of Jordan as a girl when Jordan was around Marie, like after they kissed and fucked and all this other stuff, except for like when they fucked and they woke up, but we didn't even see them fucking because like, you know, their memory was stolen. And so Jordan's like Marie. They both think that if they get to be at the top of the food chain, people are going to treat them different. And it's like, no, they treat you the same. They just hide it better. That's why I always say you are your 5 closest friends, because if you surround yourself by fuck ass people and you think they like you, and look around you and ask yourself, do they really like me, or do they like what I am, who I am, what I have, how much money I have? Because a lot of times it's because of what you have and who you are, and it's not because of you. And you'll notice that when you lose everything or you end up in some serious situation, hurt or some shit, and they don't show up, like, and you thought you had a friend but you didn't. And so yeah, like your status isn't going to get people to care about you like you need them to. Like Jordan could have got to the top of the food chain, been the best superhero of all superheroes, and what would have happened was that their dad would have still wanted them to be a boy all the time and would have been mad that they were walking around as a girl sometimes on the television in front of people. And Vault, that's the name of it. Vault probably would have been like that too. Probably would have been like, why you gotta be a girl sometimes? Or they probably would have been inclusive for the audience sake or some stupid shit. But behind the scenes, low key racist and fucked up and transphobic, or I don't even know if I can call them trans. I think that's why they kept calling them bigender, because they're fully cisgender. Like, it's not, I didn't transition into this. This is like, I switched between, like, literally my genome changes. And so I don't know if you can call that trans. It's like they said, I think that's why they picked bigender, because they are 2 different genders. They are a they because they are 2 different genders, but they are the same person. like biologically and shit, like stuff like that. And so like, yeah, there's nothing you can do to make people like you if they're trash ass people already. Like, you can make them pretend to like you if you want fake people around you that treat you a type of way for a little bit until some real shit happens and you actually need them. But I can't do fake shit. I don't even like fake flowers, nigga. Like, It took a lot for me to even decorate my apartment in fake flowers, but I was just like, why they can't be real? Because if I wanted to drape real flowers across my wall, well, that would be kind of cool though. It would look like one of them little witches' cottages with the dead flowers all over. Let me shut up. But like, no, I can't do fake shit. And so Marie and Jordan, they're young people, so they don't realize that the notoriety you get from being successful isn't fucking real. And so people aren't going to genuinely like you, especially people that you have wanted to like you for your whole entire life. Jordan's parents weren't going to like them. Marie's sister probably was not going to like her. It wasn't going to matter. And so Jordan is feeling the type of way, because Marie, like Jordan helped Marie to get to get away from Golden Boy, right? But nobody knew that Jordan helped, and so Jordan keep trying to get Marie to tell the people. And so Marie on her first interview was like, first Sheedy talks to Marie, and Sheedy's like, something about her sister emailed her or whatever, and they told her before the interview. No, it wasn't Sheedy. It was one of the publicist people told her before the interview that they emailed her sister, and they wouldn't even give her sister's email. Y'all niggas are some niggas. They have background check websites, girl. If it's any way similar to this dimension or whatever, like, you can go on the Google and see if you can find her. Like, it's not that hard. You just pay $1 and make sure you cancel that shit once you find her. And so, like, they tell her that they emailed her sister, and her sister told her that she don't want nothing to do with this bitch. And so she basically had agreed beforehand to tell the world about Jordan helping. And then after they told her that, though, she was just like, no, I did it. I said someone had to save us, so I saved us. And I was just like, girl, that's still not going to make your sister like you. Did she text you after? After you said all that? Did she text you? Did she call you? Know what's going to happen is she's going to resent you even more. Like, how dare this bitch that killed our parents get to have all this notoriety? That's most likely what's going to happen, is she's going to resent you for having the notoriety while she's over there when she got the mind read from from that rapist ass psychic nigga. What's his name? Now he's on here, Rufus. I think it's so funny because he played God in Supernatural. Like, he played God in Supernatural, and now he went from playing God to being some psychic rapist nigga. And I'm just like, oh wow. I mean, but the parts we take and the expansion we make, he's trying to expand himself and his roles and play different things and do. So I get it. It's just funny to me. But she's with some random ass dude, and it's weird. I don't know if he was lying or telling the truth, but like, she over there not living the life that her sister's living. And it sounds like the life is a life of some bullshit, low key, from the little bit that we got from it. And I would say her sister would be more likely to resent her than to actually be like, oh wow, you have changed, you are a good person. Why do we keep expecting people who have shown us the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again to just suddenly up and change and be different and be this different person? Like, no, they're going to give you the same pattern because our brain is a brain of habit and it's a knee-jerk reaction. Even people that actively want to change still have those knee-jerk reactions into their bullshit pattern until they create a new pattern with practice and working through it. You're not gonna change this child's emotional disposition that she had since she was in elementary school all the way up until damn near adulthood, like, just because you did one thing. You're not. It's not going to happen that way. That is not logical. That does not make sense. There is no one thing that we can do to change somebody's habits. It's a habit. It's a comfort thing. It makes them feel good to do it. It makes their nervous system relax when they do it. Or they're just used to their heightened nervous system, and that's a comfortable uncomfortability thing for them. You're not going to make people change just by doing one thing. Like an apology even. Like I was watching, what was I watching? American Monster. Yeah, wait, no, Evil Lives Here. I was watching one of the newer episodes, and it was this it was this man that had put this woman inside of a box, right? And he was like raping her and all this other shit. And the man's wife had left him a while ago, but he had been raping and doing shit to her and her kids, so she left him and stuff. And so, like, after she left, the man was into some nefarious shit and got his ex-wife's cousin involved, brother involved, and then they kidnapped this woman and put her in a box, and he was raping her and doing all this other shit. And so, for years, like, the woman escaped the box, right? And for years, this woman thought that this man's wife hated her, was going to come after her. She was always looking over her shoulder, changing her name, changing her hair, all that shit. So finally, they got the wife and the woman together. The wife is like talking about how her whole family sees her as a hero. Like she saved their lives. This man was crazy. We never even liked this nigga. You're a hero. Da da da. And this shit was shocking to her. She had never considered that these people thought of her that way. She was always scared, and then she was mad at the woman, like, why didn't you try to tell? And the wife did try to go to the police about the domestic violence and all this. They didn't do shit about it. So eventually she had to up and leave this nigga. She had to escape. And then she also, the woman that was in the box had to like understand that, right? Like, she did try. They didn't care. She never hated you. Da 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 da. But the thing is that even though she was told that, she's still going to take a lot of time to heal and get over the fear of being chased by imaginary villains. She has to go to therapy and work through the knee-jerk reaction of fear that she's developed all these years of being chased by this imaginary family that she thought was chasing her. It's not just going to take this woman telling her that she wasn't being chased or telling her that she tried to do something and the police didn't give a fuck to turn this woman's decades worth of trauma around. Like, she's going to actively have to work through this as well. So like, no, like, we can't just, and so that's what Jordan and Marie is on. And maybe that's why they connected and got together too, because Jordan, you're not gonna make your dad see you as a girl, as a them they, like, just because you're a superhero or you're in the seven. It's not gonna happen. He's not gonna see you as a them they. And Marie, your sister's not gonna just suddenly love you after seeing her parents' dead bodies with spiky blood hanging out of their faces on the floor. Like, she's not gonna, like, you have to, you there's nothing you can do actively except for apologize and live your life. There's not, like, both of y'all niggas. So they of course realize slowly throughout the show that this shit is bigger than trying to be on a superhero team. The system is fucked up. We need to do something about this underground situation with this school. And when Sam and Kate break out of Sam, it's like Sam and Cat shit. Break the people out of the school and start killing everybody. Like, they over there trying to help, and then they wake up in the room locked up and shit, and they're the bad guys too. So, and then you got Emma. That's the room now that her family fucked her the hell up. So I guess, I don't know how they found out she could shrink and grow with food, but like, she was throwing up to shrink and she was eating and binging to grow. And I don't know because they even had this back and forth about self-harming, Marie and Emma, because Marie cuts herself to get the blood out so she can do the things, right? And then Kate is over here binging and purging to use her power. But like, outside of the times that they were using their powers, Emma didn't seem to have like any really big body dysmorphia issues or eating disorder. Like, when we would see her eating outside of the, well, no, let me shut up. Because when her mom came and visited, like, her mom was on the weight thing and it made Emma feel uncomfortable. But outside of that, I didn't see, and if I'm wrong, you let me know down below, but I didn't see any major scenes with Emma, like, sparing herself from eating, or like starving herself, or binging, or purging just randomly out of nowhere, or only eating this type of food, or only eating that type of food, or I can only eat this, that, or the other. Like, she didn't really mention food and outside of her using her powers. And then it's the same with Marie. Like, she wasn't over here just cutting herself outside of using her powers. Like, she wasn't just cut. So the point of the conversation when they were back, because Emma is like friend hungry. So some girl, what's her name, she on here too. Why is she on here? But then the dude that played Golden Boy ain't at the top either. But what's her name, Justine. So she is the bitch that tried to befriend Emma first. And basically, Emma thought she had a friend. She was like, "Oh, someone actually genuinely likes me." Da 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 da. And the bitch, and the first day the bitch met her, she gonna tell the bitch she binge and purge to use her powers. And I'm just like, girl, but she really wanted a friend, and that bitch took advantage of her gullibility. So I can't even be mad at the victim. But it's like, girl, this is why I gotta learn shit from the television, because this why you don't tell people all your secrets off top when you don't even know them. Because did Justine tell you her secrets, girl? Did Justine tell you anything? No. So this is reinforced for me. You don't need to be telling people all your business when you don't know them. Anyways, this bitch gonna go and because she got a YouTube page or whatever the fuck it's called in that dimension. We're just gonna call it a different dimension. It's similar, but it's not the same. So she gonna go on YouTube and be like, "Oh, the patriarchy, look how it affects superheroes. Like, this bitch got a binge and purge to use her powers." And I was just like, why would you do, why would you horrible, evil bitch. Like, what is the reason for you to go and tell this bitch business? And you know what the bitch said to her when she confronted her? She was just like, "Well, I mean, you didn't say it was a secret, bitch. Wop, bitch." Like, that's why when Jordan punched her in her fucking mouth and that jaw broke, snapped over to the side, I was just like, yeah. But then she put it back, and I was just like, this bitch got some weird ass superpower and shit. Ain't nobody got time for this. So, like, I'm just, why would you do that? Like, why would you? So she's sensitive. She just, emotional. She has low self-esteem. She got this YouTube channel where she shrinks herself and then does silly shit. Like, niggas ain't even checking for her like that, like her personality and shit like that. And so she's very vulnerable, very easily manipulated, and she's searching for people to like her. And she's the version. So Marie and Jordan feel like they have to be top tier to be liked. So they're not going to do a bunch of random little things in desperation to be liked. They feel like they have to be top tier. Now, Jordan will do random things for people in power. So they were Brink's, assistant. And they were just doing random stupid shit for Brink. Like when Golden Boy burst in there another time, and they basically sedated Golden Boy for Brink or whatever, because they, wanted to be looking like they were the greatest or whatever. And Brink took advantage of that, because that's a vulnerability you have and you don't even see it yet. And whatever. And so, like, but it's still like a level. Like, it's a level. With Emma will do any fucking thing to get recognition. Like, her self-esteem is down in the levels of the depths of hell. And so basically she over here, like, she fucking some random dude. Like, she been looking for dick this whole time. And like, the dude was like, "I bet it would be so cool if you shrunk yourself." And I was just like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it, girl. This bitch went and threw up and shrunk herself. And then this nigga had her hopping on his dick like a little bunny rabbit. And I'm just like, what's going on? You know this feels like horribleness, and yet and still you're doing it. But then I had to stop, take a second, and remind myself of my past and the embarrassing shit I would do for recognition and love too. And I said, damn it, girl. You gonna get through it. You gonna heal from this. You gonna be a better bitch after this. Like you never gonna do some shit like this again. But then she met Sam. And she met Sam. And like at first it was cute. Like Andre had her go downstairs, had her shrink herself. He found out about the school, so he knew she could shrink herself. So he asked her to go down there, figure out about the little thing underneath the ground. So she goes down there, finds Sam, because Golden Boy, when he died, left a recording of the video about his brother, and so Andre and Kate watched it and went down there and saw the opening to the school. And Kate, this is another reason I knew she was fucked up, because she made them fucking cops fuck each other and shit, like basically sexually assault each other. And I was just like, and then in the beginning she was just like, when they were at the bar, she was telling Marie about like, you should drink this, and Marie's like, no. And then Kate's like, I could make you drink it, but you know, I'm all about consent. Like she was just constantly mentioning how she can make niggas do shit. And that was just, for me, was a hint. Like, you gotta notice patterns. Like, why you keep bringing that up? Because it feels like you low-key do that shit. Like, thou dost protest too much, bitch. But she basically, like, went down there and made these two cops that were coming out of the thing fuck each other with a flashlight. And I was just like, I understand that them killing the janitor was horrible and fucked up. I just feel like, why didn't you just make them kill each other? Why would you make them? And that's when I knew that some shit was going on with her that was not necessarily okay. But you know, I be clocking that shit. Black dudes don't. And so, you know, Andre didn't clock it till, you know, later. So anyways, what was I talking about? Emma over here hopping on dicks, right? And I was like, Emma, no, Emma. And it was embarrassing and it was whatever, but I realized, you know, it is what, and then she met Sam. That's what it was. So, fuck. They have her go down there. She goes into Sam's room. It's cute at first. Like, oh, they're just like child-minded and they like cute, interesting things. And then Sam, they get up out of there. She has to like eat through some nigga's ear canal into his brain, into the other side of his ear canal, you know, to get up out of there. And they go to his little favorite spot, which is a drive-in, you know, and he over here seeing and hearing things, been seeing and hearing things the whole time. And they've been telling him to kill niggas and shit like that. And he's like, no, stop talking to me. Da 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 da. So he got some sociopathy going on with the schizophrenia. But they getting it. They're building a connection. But he over here having fucking temper tantrums, breaking things, talking about, you're gonna leave me too. Everybody leaves me because I fuck things up. And I'm just like, oh shit. And she thinks this is cute. And we constantly have to see her like calming him down from killing people and shit. And I'm just like, girl, do you not see this is toxic? Like, you can't, he needs to be able to calm himself down. You don't see that this is, you've done this at least 3 or 4 times already. Like, she gets real close to him and she goes, Sam, it's okay. You don't have to do this, Sam. Calm down. Why do I have to keep doing that? Because at some point, Sam's not going to listen to her, which he at some point didn't. And then he began to massacre a bunch of bitches at school. And she just there shocked at, what are you doing, Miss Sam? Why are you doing this? 2 broken people, but one is more broken than the other, to the point where they want to kill and massacre motherfuckers. And I'm just like, girl. But you know, she got the low self-esteem, the traumatization, the body dysmorphia, whatever's going on with her. But it's all locked into her superpower and shit. Outside of that, it seemed like she eat normal and don't be paying that much attention to her body like that. But I could be wrong. I could have missed the part. I don't know. But like, I just feel bad for this child. I just be like, girl, you keep making these fuck ass decisions and shit, and now you fucking around with this nigga Sam, and like, she eventually got it though. Like when he had to start actively murdering a bunch of people and shit for her to be like, oh, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to like stop him from. No, girl, you're not. It's not. That's not how it works. But I'm glad that you understand that now. And so, anyways, who else? Sam. So Sam been locked up under the school for years. He's been tortured. He's been abused. He's been injected with a bunch of things and had a bunch of fluids removed. And he's tired. And when he gets broken out of prison, like he's ready to like wreck some shit. Really, like he don't what. See, really, I think he just seemed lost at first. He seemed lost at first, and then he got around Kate. Now, at first he was chilling. He was at the school, but I think slowly he got influenced. Like when Rufus took him to that little fucking gathering with the other political bitch that's trying to hide the fact that she got superpowers and can blow people up, and she's the benefactor for Marie because Marie got the same powers, and Marie told her about the virus and shit, and she went and got the virus and killed that nigga. So he went to that, to the little get together, that the voting thing, or the what is it when the politicians be talking, whatever it is, and he's seeing the superhero kids just being mad, talking about they want to control us, da 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 da. And so I think that kind of got the bug in his head a little bit more. Like they do want to control us, because he was just looking around at them when they was getting mad and shit. And I was like, oh Lord, here we go. And then he got around Kate. So once they found out Kate was a sneak thief bitch, she passes out, and because she'd been making her take these medicines and shit, and they've been like, you know, suppressing her like powers and whatever, and causing her brain aneurysms and whatever the fuck. So she passes out and then ends up sucking them inside of her mind, and they see all her memories of her traumas and shit like that. So eventually, like, she tries to do the white woman pity party, like, I don't want to wake up. And Andre's like, no, you need to suffer with us in life. And so they drag her out of that motherfucker. And then she says, I'm going to help you guys. We're going to figure this out. Da 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 da. And so she goes to Sheedy's house, and then Sheedy try to trick her and be like, oh, I love you. I care. I'm the only one that cares about. I'm not going to abandon you. And we think that she fell for the okie doke until all the other gangs show up, because they looking for Sam and they can't find Sam. So she texts them to come to Sheedy house. And basically, like, she's like, nah, Sheedy over here lying, and she got this virus, and then she want to kill us all, and they all want to kill us, and then she sliced that bitch neck and shit like that. And then she says, we're going to release everybody from the woods, and da-da-da-da-da. And so they go down there into the woods and release everybody. And apparently, of course, some niggas is traumatized to the nth extremities. And so they all just start killing everybody that's a superhero or not a superhero. Because at first, they was just killing niggas that weren't superheroes. But then they started killing niggas that were. Everybody was up for grabs. And Sam is seeing his brother over and over again, trying to tell him to stop. Don't stop. No, don't. And this nigga's like, no, fuck you, nigga. These niggas got me down here all fucked up. And so he was like, no, nigga. And so he goes upstairs and start killing people again. And then, you know, his brother Vision start trying one more time. And he said, I don't want to listen to you niggas. So basically, he gets Kate to make him into a full sociopath. And it's just, yeah. And so, like, they continue to massacre the school, and then the gang try to stop them, and they do end up stopping the prisoners that broke out of the prison. But then, once Marie blows Kate's arm off, that's when what's his name? The evil nigga that basically flies down, blasts Marie with his laser eyes, and then they all wake up in the white room. And then Andre is just, I just feel like Andre was the token black guy in the group. Cause at first he was just like the fun guy, the like whatever guy, and then we find out that he is the white woman's accessory in the group. No, because Andre literally like I just felt like the only attachment he had to the group was the white people. Like he was the white dude's best friend. He was the white girl's side nigga. Like and then he had the issue with his dad wanting him to be in the seven and whatever and like be the greatest. And so he had that hanging off of his neck too because he was in the top five. And as he's seeing like, oh, what the school's doing and stuff like that, he wants to stop everything. But like he's sitting up here walking around drunk and high because his friend died. And then now he's mad because the bitch he was fucking turns out to be a liar and been lying to him this whole time and been like feeding him bullshit this whole time. And I'm just like, but Andre, why didn't you? Niggas don't be clocking it. They don't be clocking it. And I would have clocked it at the first time she's even mentioned trying to make me do shit. Like, why would you joke like that? Why would you? That's weird. Like, see, now I don't want to be around you, bitch, because you know you have that type of power and you're joking. Like you would really use that on me to do, girl. I just feel like Andre is a fucking dope that wasn't paying attention and he should have been paying a fuck attention. Like, I feel like, and of course, you know, it goes back to not liking yourself, putting whiteness on a pedestal, but it's like you were there the longest around these people. You should have been known. I mean, less because she was fucking with his memory, but was she fucking with his memory like when Golden Boy was alive? Or did she only start fucking with his memory after? Because my thing is like, you've been there the longest. Why are you not clocking that this bitch is weird? Like, she cheating on a dude that's your best friend with you. And then she's making these random comments and jokes about making niggas do shit. Even though she keeps saying, you wouldn't do that to me. Yes, she would, nigga. What are you talking about? You thought you had somebody? The bitch has been showing you that she has poor qualities. And throughout this whole situation, like, she makes poor choices, that she does malicious, fucked up shit, that she doesn't care about other people or their feelings. Why do you think that she would suddenly change the pattern that she has been utilizing with everybody else around y'all for you? That's why you have to look at how people treat themselves and other people before you look at how they treat you. Because with you, they might be putting on an act. They might be putting on their best foot forward. They might be just pretending just because they want something from you. But everybody else, like, you very easily, like, slighted that nigga. You very easily, like, cheated on this motherfucker. How hard was it to cheat on this nigga? And I know it takes two to tango, but when you couple it with the jokes about forcing people to do shit and how she says it all the time, it's like this tragic white woman shit. Like, oh, I'm just so tragic and my life sucks. And because I'm white and blonde haired and blue eyed and big eyed, like, you have to believe that I am just this dainty lady bitch. And I'm just like, niggas fall for it every time. And then get surprised when this white woman does some fuck shit. And why are you shocked? Why are you surprised? You know, like, you can hold a grain of salt for somebody just based off of the patterns that you've seen them utilize in other people without, like, hating the person. Like, you don't have to equate that to, I hate this bitch and I'm fake around her. No, I'm very nice to people. I just clock shit that seems off, especially if it happens multiple times, and then I assess as to whether or not that shit could happen to me. And depending on how I choose to be close to this person, that's how I will decide if I need to be around this person or not. Now, if I'm only close enough to you to be an acquaintance and an observer, then I might just stick around to observe and just be like, wow, this bitch is fucked up. She just be doing fucked up shit to people. But you ain't never gonna know shit about me, what I'm doing, where I'm going, how I'm moving through the world, because I see how you move and do things, and I'm not going to let you try to use my shit against me. Like, you're not doing that. Or I'm just not gonna be around you. Like, but people think that, oh, because I notice your flaws and the things that are wrong with you, that means that, like, if I notice those things, I have to cut you off completely. So, and I don't want to cut you off completely, so I'm going to continue to delude myself and act like those flaws are not even there until some fuck shit happens. And that is some bullshit. I refuse. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. Nope. And so, like, I'm just be looking at Andre like, nigga, you was in a den of snakes and you didn't clock it. You just really didn't clock it. You were just like, whatever, girl. But, like, look at that black woman that got murdered at that fucking sleepover with all them white women, and nobody knew how she ended up at the bottom of a balcony. None of them hoes went to jail. I'm still upset about that. She didn't clock some shit, obviously, because she would not be in that house by herself with all them white people if that was the case. I like how this show illustrates that the devil, the villain, are the white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white folks, and it's magical. Like, each villain has been a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white person, and you know, like in The Boys, yeah, like the fish nigga and the running nigga is fucked up, but ain't none of them in comparison to that evil ass blonde hair, blue eyed white nigga. None of them can touch that nigga swag. That nigga's evil. He is that is a Jeffrey Dahmer at the top of the fucking ship. Got to steering the fucking boat. Y'all got Jeffrey Dahmer over there steering the fucking boat, and you don't even care or realize or just think that you can't fight this nigga. So what are we gonna do? So I'm just, why Andre? And now the actor's dead. We can't even. God rest his soul. What's his name again? What is Chance Perdomo? God bless that man. He didn't have to die like that. It's just sad. It's just why people keep dying like this. Like, is this just some shit that you just go through with age? Like, people just keep dying over and over. This is probably how they felt when what's that nigga that died in that car crash in the 50s? What's his name? This is probably how they felt when Marilyn Monroe died. But, like, you know, that nigga wasn't Marilyn Monroe, but you know, this nigga's dying young and shit for no fucking reason. But yeah, like, his character was fucking clueless though. Like, I just feel I'm upset, but it's just it is the pure representation of how black dudes get when they be around white folks, especially white women. And I'm just, cause what they do is they objectify these women that aren't black to the point where they believe their objectification. Like, oh, she's so dainty and docile and sweet and wonderful, and she would never, like, he kept saying it, you would never, you know, try to, like, control my mind. You would never do that. He kept saying that shit over, and I was just looking at him like, nigga, you really trust this bitch that much that has already shown you that she's not trustworthy to other people. Okay, you thought you were special. You thought you were the special one that she was going to treat different. That's what it was. I was just like, nigga, you ain't special. And he saw he wasn't special, and it hurt his little feelings. I know it will. I know it did. Fuck that white bitch. And then here Marie over here trying to defend this white hoe after she apologized and shit, and Andre is over here mad at the bitch, and she trying to defend this bitch. I'm like, Marie, you too? At two, Marie? At two, you got taken in by the doe eyes and the tears and the blue and the white and the blonde. Okay, bro. Whatever, bitch. You saw soon enough that everything was not what it was, and that's why you in that little white room, and them motherfuckers are on the television as the heroes of Gaddafi or whatever the fuck the name of school is. And white woman is gonna be the black man's downfall. You just sitting up here thinking she's the magical angel of the world and not even using your critical thinking. When the bitch walk in the room, critical thought goes off, and that's how you end up in situations like that nigga that ended up stabbed by that OnlyFans bitch. I just but that's my review. I don't think I missed anybody, did I? I mean, we talked about Rufus. I thought how you gonna go from God to this? What? How you gonna go from God to this? I just that shit is hilarious. And then she blew that nigga's dick up, and then in the next scene he's perfectly fine. So I'm just wondering, like, did you find someone to grow your dick back? Like, why are you walking around as if your dick didn't just get blown up? Like, this is magic school, so if you get injuries you can just go to the nurse and they got the magic nurse that like heals your injuries. Is that what's going on? Because I seen that in the anime once. So what's it what's that anime that's popular and they and fuck it, I don't care. And so, I just thought this shit was hilarious. Just dick blew up like a fucking balloon and then burst everywhere. And he was just holding it and screaming. And I wish the fuck I did have that magical power. Nigga try to touch me without my consent. Nigga, your dick would be on the floor. And there's no magical doctor to put it in back. Oh, fuck. But yes, that's my review, y'all. I don't even know how long this video is. I think it is kind of long, but let me know what you thought. And if Emma did have some kind of eating issue outside of when she was using her superpower, let me know. Maybe it was a mix of like self-harm, because now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, your superpower is a part of who you are as a person, right? So if like when Marie got upset and ran to the back of the school where the trash cans were and slashed herself open and used the blood to, this was like a mix of self-harm and like releasing the frustration by knocking the trash cans over. And then Emma like throwing up and like all this other stuff to like jump on this nigga's dick and shit like a little bunny rat. That was like self-harm, because it was like, you know, you didn't want to do that shit, but you did it anyways. So maybe it is. She was hopping on it, and then he was like, isn't this the biggest dick you ever saw? Like, nigga, really? You had to have this bitch shrink in order to feel like you had a big dick. Like, is that why that little teeny people, not like dwarfism, but like, you know, they had them hentais with them little teeny bitches, and then the teeny bitches be crawling up into people's vaginas and asses. Is that why that's popular? I be watching some shit, y'all. I don't think it's popular. I don't enjoy that. I just seen it one time and I was just like, what? How do Japanese people be nasty? I feel like that's what it is. I feel like that's why that's popular. So niggas can feel like their dick is ginormous to a bitch, even though it's just the same size it's always been, because that's the only bitch you gonna encounter that size. That's that size for the rest of your entire life, nigga. So this is the only moment you'll have where you can pretend, even if it hurts this bitch's feelings and makes her hate herself. You're a trash ass mother. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's what I'm talking about. People be talking about like, oh, well, you know, I never said we were together, but you took the gifts. You took everything I gave you, knowing that it hurt my feelings, and it didn't bother you that it hurt my feelings. So that just lets me know you have no empathy, and you're a dog ass, robot ass motherfucking nigga that just likes to take shit from people and not care about how it makes them feel. So you're at fault too. I might have allowed it, but you sat up there and you supplied it, and you're a piece of shit ass motherfucker. because you didn't give a shit. You didn't care. You didn't care. It hurt your feelings. Like I get sad if I step on my cat's foot on accident. I be on the floor trying to rub her foot. Like, does it hurt? Does it hurt? Because I don't want her to feel pain. You don't have that capacity. You men not a lot of men. I'm trying to be decent. A lot of men not having that capacity to hurt if someone else is hurting, or if you to hurt if you cause someone else pain, is highly fucked up. It's highly fucked up. It's highly fucked up. Like, what are you walking around like as a mini sociopath? Like, why would you? Because that's what keeps us from hurting people. That's what keeps us from being that way. And if you don't have that capacity, in various different ways, you might be doing like fucked up sociopathic things to people. But I just read this post where this dude was sitting up here, like his wife loved plants, just loved plants. That was her babies and shit. Was sitting up here putting bleach in his wife's watering pot, like a little cap full of bleach. So every time she watered her plants, they would have bleach in them. And that she didn't understand why they were slowly dying. And so she was repotting one day, and then she smelled the bleach and realized, the only other adult nigga in this house is my husband, because I'm not doing this. And then she confronted him. At first he lied. Then he admitted it with no remorse and no apology. And she's sitting up here talking about, should we go to counseling? Bitch, leave this motherfucker. That's sociopathic behavior. He plotted, he planned, he manipulated, he's malicious, and he's probably going to do that to you next. And they have a child. Get the child out the house. He's probably slowly slipping you rat poisoning and you don't even know it, bitch. The plants were a test, ho. So there's men out there just doing like sociopathic things because they don't care how it impacts the other person. And I'm sure there's some women out there, some non-binaries, but the majority are the men, because of the articles and the research that you can read on Google about which gender murders who the most. And it's cis men. It's always cis men. So, you sat up here and watched this bitch embarrass herself on your penis and you didn't even feel it. I get embarrassed just watching somebody embarrass themselves on a fucking television show, and I have to fast forward through that shit because it's just like, why are you doing that? Like, that's embarrassing, girl, stop. Like, you didn't feel that? Like, you don't feel that? Like, that's not, something's wrong with you then. Something is very much so wrong with you, and you need help, therapy, medication maybe, or just stay away from people. Depending on how bad it is, especially if it goes into the realm of, I don't need to stab motherfuckers or rape motherfuckers or put my hands on people just cause. Stay away from people till you get that shit under control, cause no, nigga. So yeah, that was my review of Gen V. Rest in peace, Chance Perdomo. Yes, I'm not good with people's names. I didn't know this. I don't know these actors' names. I keep looking because I didn't know his name, his real name. I'm sorry. So God forgive me, but I didn't know his name. But rest in peace. God bless. And hug your loved ones, because life is a fragile thing, and you be here one day, next day just gone and shit, nigga, like it's nothing. And so just be aware and hug your loved ones and hug yourself, and have care and empathy for other people, so you don't end up doing fucked up shit to people and not giving a damn, because that says there's something wrong with you. And it's not about the other person allowing you to do it. It's the fact that you want to do it. It's the fact that you can stand there and do it and watch this other person in pain because of you, and it doesn't impact you at all. Like, their pain doesn't impact you whatsoever. All you tell yourself is, well, they're letting me do it. Yeah. I'm sure there's been times in your life where you felt you had to do something you didn't want to do in order to feel loved, but you didn't really want to do it. So why would you inflict that on somebody else? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review and all the magical things. Later days.